Hey, Joanne. Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing okay. Gonna wait just a couple more minutes and we will get started. Hello, all. Hello, happy Thursday. And this is Barbara Reed, the Wexford Stamper. And I am getting ready here to show you another fun project that I put together. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Rise. Rise, we're going to have to meet in the flesh sometime. I don't think I've ever met you. I would love to meet you sometime. I'm so happy that you're on Dory's team with us. It's great fun. All right, I think I'm going to get started, and those can catch up that jump on later, or they can watch the replay. Today, we are going to make these two projects. This is my little tea box, and I made this with my team a couple of weeks ago. And I also made them for my vendor show, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And inside there is a tea bag. And this is a little cookie. It's a stroopwafel. It's a mini. There's larger versions. This is a little mini. And then this is a bag of granulated honey. So I thought it's a cute little pick-me-up gift. If you have somebody that has a cold or something, give them a little tea, or just a gift for anytime. So we're going to use the Let's Cheer Up on that one. So we're going to kind of make it a get better gift. And then we're going to make this card as a coordinating card. Now here I did not use the same designer series paper, but for our project today I will. All right, so let me show you the products that we're going to use today. The first ones are in the annual catalog, and it is called Lovely You. And I should have had it marked, and I didn't. There it is, Lovely You, page 22. All right, you know how we roll over here. We try to get ready, but sometimes it doesn't work. It's on page 22 in the new annual catalog, and it's called Lovely You, and it's a bundle, and it comes with a stamp set and this amazing new punch called the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And this was on back order for a really long time, and I finally got mine, and I love it. I know Lisa loves hers too. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to it, but you're able to make two different styles of punch depending on what end you like on your label. And then you can make it in 3 different widths: half, 3/4, and 1 inch. So I'll show you how to use that as we get closer to that part in the tutorial, but this is a must-have for our stamp and card makers. This is just a great thing to have around and pull in for lots and lots of cards. And I love this Lovely You because it has so many great sentiments. And I love the mix font where we have the print and the cursive together. Just love these sets. So this is the bundle we're going to be using. Then for the designer series paper, we're going to use paper from the Flowers for Every Season, or is it All Seasons? I always get that wrong. Flowers for Every Season. Sweet. And this is the paper. Oh my goodness. It's 6x6. Lovely florals. And then the back side is a nice coordinating neutral that you can use. So I'm going to be using some of this paper, and they call it For Every Seasons because they have sunflowers, they have daisies, they have poinsettias, and it's just paper that you can use all through the year. Ooh, you got yours today already, Cheryl. Awesome. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Such fun. All right. Now, before we get started, I am happy to announce that I got my delivery of the new Christmas catalog. This is called the August to December 2020 mini catalog. It's not the holiday catalog anymore, but I might say it and call it that for a while till I get used to it. But if you are a customer of mine that has bought with me within the last year to 18 months, I will be automatically sending one these to you. All right? If you are on my team, you should be getting one in the mail. Okay, and if you've put in an order, they always include one in that first order. So let me know if you need one, team members. I can send one to you because the mail has been a little challenging lately. So you need to get your hands on this and get ready for a beautiful season that we're going to have, making wonderful creations. All right, so let me know if you need one of those. All right, well, let's get started. And we're going to start working on with the tea box. All right, and what we need for the tea box, we're going to start with a piece of cardstock, and this is just jade. Now don't worry about any of the dimensions and the specifics, because I will put this on my blog by the end of the day and you can see that. All right, so we're going to start with this just jade piece of cardstock cut at 7 inches by 5 5/8 inches. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up my Simply scoreboard. If you are a lover of 3D projects, this is absolutely a must for you. You need to get one of these. This has been my best friend because everybody knows I just love to make the 3D projects. All right, so I put my paper up here at the top and I have the long end at the top. Okay, now we're going to score on the long end, which is the 7-inch length at 2.5, 3 1/4, 5 3/4, 6 1/2. All these dimensions will be on my blog. I wonder why. I'm not sure. That's what we were told, Lisa. I'm glad you have one, though. All right, on the short side, we're going to go 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 4 3/8. And for those of you that are a little confused with the measure, 3/8 is going to be 1, 2, 3 notches over. It's the notch between the 1/4 and the 1/2. That's 4 3/8. And then 5 1/8. So 1 notch past 5 inches. Okay, now that's all the scoring for this one. Let me put my scoring board away. All right, now I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm going to go ahead and crease all of these score lines. Bone folder is another great piece of equipment to have in your toolbox if you're a 3D project maker, and even a card maker, when you need to crease all your folds on your cards. It just does a nice clean job and gives it a nice crisp fold. There we go. All right, we're all folded here. Now I'm going to lay this on my landscape side, and I'm going to get my snips here, and I'm going to pull in my template here. Okay, here is my template. I have that kind of on top so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. All right, so we're going to work to make this paper look like the template that I have up here. All right, so we want to make sure we have our skinny rectangle on the right-hand side. Okay, now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the square here at the bottom of the skinny rectangle and the small rectangle above it. So I'm actually going to cut through 2 horizontal score lines and cut off at the second. Okay, now I'm going to wedge this a little bit just because that piece is going to fit in behind the other panel and to close the box. Okay, now I'm going to turn it the other way and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Cut off those 2 rectangles, actually square and rectangle. And then I'm going to take a little snip out of there. Okay, so that doesn't interfere with the folding of those flaps there. Okay, now let's go ahead and go up all the vertical score lines to the second horizontal here. Okay, so now we're going to cut off this smaller rectangle. This is going to become our flap that's going to flap inside our box lid. So we're going to cut off the edges so that they flap in nicely there. Okay, let me know if you're following along, if I'm doing a good job here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut here. That flap. Okay, now if you look at my template, we're going to cut the last flap off. So this large flap here is going to be cut off. Okay, so we're doing well there. Just about got that down. Excuse me a minute. Turn this off. See if that makes. Got a lot of shadows. I want to turn something off there. Let's see if that's better. Okay, yeah, that looks a little better now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the top section here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to go ahead and cut in on those vertical score lines again. Okay, making our tiny tabs again. We're going to do the wedging. How many of you just love this Just Jade? This is one of my favorite colors. I started with Misty Moonlight, and then a short while I was loving the magenta. Now I think this one might be my new favorite. I don't know. They change daily. All right, now, if you notice here, the first side we cut the flap off here. So directly across, we want to make sure we keep the flap. All right, so on this original side, this is the side that the flap is on. So on this side, oh wait, I have it upside down. There we go. On this side, we're going to cut it off. All right, so it's kind of opposites. Let me show you when I finish cutting. Okay, the large flaps are cut off on the opposite sides, and that's going to allow for us to close the box on opposite ends. So that we'll have a lid and a flap that closes on each end. So there I'm going to take a little bit off the edges there so that we can put that nicely into the box. Okay. Ooh, what do you have coming today, Rise? You have some goodies showing up? Oh, those are the days I can't wait. Today I'm supposed to be getting some of the Christmas paper, so I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so here is our finished product. Okay, let's put it this is the thin side, so we keep it oriented the way you're used to it. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of the paper. This is the paper from the Flowers for Every Season. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere that on the front of the box before we put the box together. And it's easier that way because then you don't have to worry about crushing the box, trying to push down and put some pressure on the paper when it's being glued. Not that I would know anything about that happening. I have just learned that this way is so much easier. You can really press firmly and get that paper on there without crushing your box. All right, now we're ready to assemble the box now. I'm going to get my tear and tape. You guys know this is some of my favorite stuff for 3D projects. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a piece along that skinny rectangle that we created at the beginning of the cutting. Okay, I'm going to grab my pick tool and I'm going to get that backing off my tear and tape. Okay, now I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to flap this side over that has my tear and tape on it. Then I'm going to flap over the other side of the box, and it easily lines up and makes it very easy to adhere. Okay, and now we just pop it open, and there we have our box. And here's the top that tucks in, and the bottom tucks in the opposite way. So there you have it. Now see, it's having a little trouble, so what I'm going to do there is I'm going to cut this a little more, just a tiny bit more, so we won't have it, there we go, we won't have it sticking. Wow, he really wants to stick. Come on, get in there. There we go. Okay, so there is our box. So it opens this way at the top and then backwards on the bottom. Okay, so we're all ready to do our embellishing on the front. So you're going to need a Whisper White circle. This is one of the stitch shapes. Love those. They've got circles, they've got ovals, they've got squares, and they've got the beautiful little stitching around. They're just nice to have in your stash because you pull them out an awful lot. I do use them a lot. All right, I'm going to take the Let's Cheer You Up from the Lovely You set, and I'm going to stamp that right on the circle with the Just Jade, new favorite color. Okay, but there is a number of different sentiments in here. Let me bring it in. So many different sentiments you can use here. Cherished friend would be a great one for a gift. You're my person. I like that too. But we use the Let's Cheer Up so we can maybe use it as a little get well gift. All right, now we are going to go ahead and decorate this with the flowers. And to make the flowers, I'm going to bring in the Small Blooms punch. This was a punch they had for Celebration last year, well, this year during Celebration, and now it has become a permanent offering in the new catalog, and it's great. It's a great way to get your to decorate very quickly. All right, so, oh, Raj, you got your boho stuff. Oh, that's exciting. You're gonna love it. Just wait. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some of the bumblebee, and I'm gonna cut one flower from the bumblebee, and then I'm gonna cut two from the Magenta Madness. And these are all in colors. Almost everything here I'm using are in colors. This box is Just Jade, and this is Magenta Madness and Bumblebee, and the other two are Cinnamon Cider, which is like a brown, and then there's the Moonlight, Misty Moonlight, which is a gorgeous blue. So such nice in colors for us to work with. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the flowers on my circle. Now to do that, I just kind of take my fingers and I kind of pull up on the edges of the flowers just to make them a little more 3D. And then I grab my glue dots. Okay, and I put it right on my glue dot. And then I grab it off with my pick tool, because if I don't, I probably have it stuck to my finger and never get it off. And then it really easily comes down onto your project. So let's go ahead and do the other two. This one is the Bumblebee flower. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that on there. Off with my pick tool. Down on the project. Aren't those cute? I just love these little flowers, and they really dress up a project really quickly. And here is my last one. We're going for a second Magenta Madness flower. Pick tool. And then right there at the bottom. So there are the three. I just kind of made them a little bundle of them right there on the left-hand side of my label. Yeah, I do love the punch, Cheryl. It is awesome. All right, now to finish up our embellishment, I'm going to bring in some pearls. These are just the basic pearls that are available in the catalog. And I'm just going to use the largest for this because these are pretty big, nice size flowers, and the larger ones look more appropriate for the centers than the tinies. At least that's the way I feel. You can kind of put on whichever ones you like. I use my pick tool again, and it helps me get those on without having any trouble at all. All right, so there is my embellishment for the box. And now I'm going to grab my dimensionals and I'm going to turn over my circle here, my stitch circle, and I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of those dimensionals on the back. And then that goes right on the middle of the front. What a great little box for a pick-me-up for someone that's not feeling well. And you don't have to put the tea in it, but that's what I kind of designed it for. If you are interested in any of the things that I'm putting inside the box, I can give you links. I got most of them on Amazon, but this is just a standard size tea bag, and that will go in very easily. And then I found the little mini Stroop waffles on Amazon. Really cute. They're little and they fit perfectly in there. And then I found these on Amazon as well. These are granulated honey packets. So just thought that would be great, especially if somebody has a sore throat or something. So if you're interested in any of those, I can put those links in the description. All right, so there is our box. All right, now notice I made the box this time with the paper that coordinates with our card. All right, so let's go ahead and pull in the card. This is the card that we're going to make. This uses a frame from a set that we've used in the maybe 2 months ago, the Ornate Layers dies. Let me grab those for you here. These are the Ornate Layers. This is a set of dies from a different bundle. Let me show you this one. This is a gorgeous bundle called Ornate Garden. It's on 64 of your catalog if you have your catalog out. And this is that suite, and they have amazing dies in this. They had the edge dies, and then they had the frames, and those are the ones that I really loved, and those are going to be so useful for lots and lots of projects. I'm looking forward to Christmas with these as well. I use this one here, and you can see by looking at the die that it's very, very intricate. Lots and lots of, I will do that, Rise. I will put those in for you. Thank you. And I have a couple of tips that make it easier to get those little pieces out, because I mean, this is so worth it. Look at the beautiful, intricate details in that frame. What I have found works best when you are going through with the die on your paper. Let's just pretend this is your paper and you're going to cut the die out. Okay? You're going to turn the crank and put it through. I put it through like 3 times, but when you do it that way, these 2 sides are not under the pressure of the roller nearly as long as these 2 sides. Okay? So sometimes you'll pull it out and you're going to have trouble getting some of the little pieces out of these ends. So what I do is I turn the paper this way and then roll it through 3 more times, because then these are getting a lot more pressure. Because when you roll it through and it's running this way, it just kind of pops over it really fast. So roll it through this way, then turn it and roll it through this way. And then you'll be able to get all those little pieces out. And you want to make sure that you have your die brush to help you with that, as well as your pick tool. But that was something that I found helped a lot more, and because I was having trouble with some of them sticking in there and then not wanting to pop out. So that works well for me. All right, so that is that. We're going to use that new punch to make the label, and we'll get there very shortly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a piece of the gorgeous new Bumblebee cardstock. This is an in color. And then I'm going to grab a piece of this Designer Series paper. This is from the Flowers for Every Season, and it is one of the more neutral sides. They have the really loud and colorful sides, and then they have the more neutral sides. So I'm going to put this one on here, kind of tone on tone, onto my card front, and I'm going to use some Tombow for that. Hi, Kathy Whitcomb. Long time no see, girl. Hope you're doing okay. Miss everybody so much. And there is my card front. Okay, here I used a different design, but anything that keeps it kind of tone on tone will be perfect for that. Now, I then cut out my frame using the Just Jade new favorite color. And remember, I used my tip. I went through this way 3 times, then I turned it, went through this way 3 times. And then I was able to get all of them out without having to dig or cut them out or whatever. That can get messy. So that is a good tip to remember for the more intricate frames. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my piece of Designer Series paper from the Flowers for Every Season, and it's going to beautifully match our box we made. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in there, just like it's a picture. I just think that looks so pretty. It looks like a little painting of flowers. Let's see, how do I want it to go? I think I like it this way. All right, and it fits pretty perfectly right in there in the frame like that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and bring it right onto the card front, and I'm going to glue it flat down onto the card front. Okay, so I'm going to just use my Tombow and glue it right down. Okay, we're just going to use dimensionals on our little label today. Okay, I like to glue it flat down because then you can really see the intricate pattern on the frame better because it's flat down on that beautiful bumblebee paper. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our last part here. We're going to bring in some strips. Okay, now I am going to do a label that is layered. Okay, so what you have to do when you want to make a layered label, that's kind of hard to say. When you want to make a you know what I mean, a layered label. Okay, you need to make sure that the one underneath is larger and longer than the one on top. So for the one on the bottom, this is 1 inch by 3.5 inches. And the one that's going to layer on top is 3/4 inches by 3¼ inches. Okay, so you want to make sure it's smaller and shorter so that it fits on there nicely. Okay, now remember we said we can make labels that are 1 inch, 1/4 inch, and even 1/2 inch. And let me show you how we do that. Okay, I'm going to choose this one for the style that I'm going to use today for this label punch. Okay, so what you do is I'm going to go ahead and do the larger one first, and you can see how it kind of fits right into the little chute there, depending on what size it is. Here's 3/4, and that goes into the smaller one. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're keeping it straight in your little chute there. Okay, so what I do then is I send it down through the chute, and then I turn this over and keep pushing it through until it hits the end of the punch. Okay, can't go any farther. Then I double check and make sure that it's centered there. Okay, and then I think it's ready, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. Okay, and there is my first side. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Stick it down the chute, down into the punch, turn it over. Push all the way to the end. If it starts to kind of look like it's not centered, you want to turn it back over and make sure your label is still in the little chute. Okay, mine looks pretty well ready there, and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. All right, so there is my first label. Okay, now let's do some stamping before we work on the second one here. And the stamp that I used from the same set is Miles Apart, but Still in My Heart. I love that. I'm going to have a sister-in-law that lives in Oklahoma, and I think this would be a perfect sentiment for her. We try to stay up to date on each other's comings and goings, but the pandemic has made it challenging for everyone. So I want her to know that I'm still thinking about her. So I'm going to go to my Just Jade, and I'm going to line this up. Remember, when you use your paper, that you want to make sure you're using the lines on your paper here to keep your strip straight. Now, I'm going to try my best to get this one in the spot I want it to. Okay, come on, Barb, you can do it. It worked! It worked! Because you got that little H that loops way up there, and you want to make sure you don't cut that off. Okay? So now we're going to do the same exact process with this 3/4 inch label that we did with the inch label. Okay, let's bring this one back in. Remember, I'm using this design here. We're going to put it down the chute, and notice that the chute, it's going down that 3/4 inch chute. I'm going to push it right into the punch and then turn it over and watch for it to come out. Okay, that looks like it's right in the right spot for me, so I'm going to squeeze. Let's see how we did. Perfect. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and turn the other side. We're going to slide it down the chute. Once it gets in there, you can turn it over and push it all the way until the strip hits that back there, that back wall. All right, looks centered, looks good. Squeeze. All right, there is our label. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some Tombow, and I'm going to glue this flat down onto my Magenta Madness label. And see, by using the 2 different size widths and 2 different size lengths on your label, then you have the correct kind of layering that you're going for. Isn't that so pretty? I love that. All right, let's bring in our card. We're almost done here. I'm going to grab some dimensionals, put some dimensionals on the back of this strip quickly. I know it is really easy. It takes a little bit of figuring out and playing with, but once you get it, it really makes gorgeous labels. And you can use them as tags if you want to on a gift. Oh, there's just so many things that we're going to be able to do with them for Christmas. I'm excited. All right, so there is my label, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right onto my card there on the right-hand side. I let a little bit of the paper stick out underneath. All right, so there's my card. We have one last thing to do here, and we are going to add some of the In Color enamel dots. And I am really running out here, so I have the last few that I have here. We're going to add one of each color, and I'm going to go ahead and use my pick tool and gently get under, and then I'm going to stick that right onto my label. Now I'm going to use some cinnamon cider on this one instead of the bumblebee, just to get that color in there. And then finally we'll finish up with the gorgeous Magenta Madness. Let's see, we'll put him right there. All right, there is our card. Isn't that so pretty? And here's our box. So this would be a lovely, lovely gift to give to someone who's not feeling well or for any reason. So if you have any questions about the project, you can always email me, or you can check on my blog. All the specifics will be there, and there's a link to my online store there if you want to buy, if you need to buy anything. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the project, and have a great weekend, and I hope you get a chance to get some crafting in. Take care. Bye-bye.